My name is Amy Olivo, and I'm so proud to be the chair of the Prince George's County Commission for Education Excellence. And I'm so excited to welcome all of you to our first event as a commission sharing and showcasing education excellence and innovation in Prince George's County. I teased our volunteers that part of their test would have to be saying that 5 times fast. I want to first of all thank the principal of this phenomenal school building, Mr. Warren Tweedy, for having us here tonight at Greenbelt Middle School. Thank you so much. Aren't his students and faculty phenomenal? They had all those great displays and the music and the TV studio for us to enjoy as we were mingling earlier. Thank you so much. The Commission for Education Excellence is a 12-person volunteer committee that was established to advise the county executive on various education-related matters. We, the Commission, are charged with the evaluation of innovative programs, policies, and initiatives targeted towards improving the educational achievement of all Prince George's County students, the engagement of the community to enhance the image of the Prince George's County Public Schools, and the alignment of county resources to improve support for our system needs. And by being here tonight and sharing with us all the great work that you're doing, you're going to help us do our work as we advise the county executive on his work. I'd like to recognize our 12 commission members. Not all of them were able to be here tonight, but a lot of them are. Dawnette Days, I think she's out. Oh, terrific, there she is. Jim Estep with the Prince George's Business Roundtable, and they helped provide funding to make tonight possible. Loopy Grady. Desiree Griffin Moore. Yvette Lewis. Shonda Macias, Janae Queen, Betsy Ramirez, Keith Singletary, who provided the delicious food that we enjoyed this evening, Kathleen Tees, Jennifer Urbaez, and Donna Wiseman. I'd also like to welcome and thank some elected officials who are here tonight. Of course, our panel, who I'll introduce in a moment, but we also have Delegate Alonzo Washington from District 22. Delegate Ann Healy from District 22. Delegate Darren Swain from District 24. Curtis Valentine, an at-large school board member. And I'm very pleased that we also have here from District 2, this school board district, school board member Peggy Higgins. Thank you all for being here tonight. At tonight's event, we are seeking to discover, showcase, and share examples of excellence and innovation that are already occurring throughout Prince George's County. I know that practically every resident in the county can identify an educational island of excellence, but we know that islands of excellence are not acceptable. We need and deserve system-wide excellence. And that's why tonight we've invited you here to share what you are already doing in the school system. After our panel discussion, we're going to break up into roundtable discussions, and commission members will be taking notes about everything that you have to say. After this event, we are going to be poring over those notes to find best practices, to find models, to find things that we can recommend to the county executive. And we really thank you for sharing your work with us tonight. For our panel, we have a really exciting occurrence. I'm told that this is the very first time in public that County Executive Baker, Prince George's County CEO Dr. Maxwell, and Board of Education Chair Dr. Segun Eubanks, that this is the first time the three of them have been in public together talking education. So we're going to have an Oprah-style discussion up here among the three of them, moderated by Commission member Loopy Grady. Loopy's the parent of 2 PGS students, including a daughter who attends Greenbelt Middle School. And she's the Deputy Director of the Maryland Multicultural Youth Center. And she's a member of our Commission for Education Excellence. So I'd love to invite Loopy and our panel up to the front.
Welcome, everyone. This is great to have you all here. This is home. As Amy mentioned, my daughter attends Greenbelt, so give it up for Greenbelt. Absolutely. And thank you, Mr. Tweedy, once again, for opening your doors. So I know Amy made it very clear to me, 20 minutes, so I want to make sure that we respect 20 minutes, because where is she? She's going to give me signs. Okay, so we're going to get right to it, and we're going to start with Mr. Baker.
Yes, ma'am.
So it has been close to a year since the change of the school system's governance. Can you speak a little bit about how you're feeling about the changes in the system and where are we going next?
Now, first of all, let me thank the Commission for Excellence in Education. Can we give them another round of applause, please? You know, these are 12 individuals that I asked to volunteer their time and help us at the county executive level really see if we can push the envelopes around education. We would not have been able to actually get a bill passed through in Annapolis had it not been for the work of the commission just leading our thoughts in that way. It's been about a year or so. I can say that, you know, when people ask me, well, what do you think now? And I point to Dr. Maxwell and said, I think he's a great choice. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
I point to Dr. Eubanks and I say, he's a great choice. Wouldn't you agree? But more importantly, I think the idea of changing the governance structure was to actually elevate education in Prince George's County, to carry on the dialogue. This is really what we're going to talk about tonight, and where we are is really just the foundation. How we take the school system to the next level is really where we're going to go. So I'm very excited about the things that we've done, but I'm more excited about where we're going to move this school system.
And with that note, I would like to also give a chance, Dr. Maxwell. Can you speak to how you're feeling about so far the work that it just goes through?
So I'm feeling really good about it. We've been working very hard. I've been here, I don't know, about 9 months, I think now. It's been a very, very busy time. Got back from New York just a couple hours ago, where we were meeting with the Wallace Foundation yesterday, doing some work on the principal pipeline work and the development of leadership in our district, which is, you know, as we all know, very critically important. In the time that I've been here, we've been, focused on, getting a really strong, great executive team in place. You may have seen the entry plan that we first, put forward a month or so into my arrival. We've completed the work of the transition team and have that report. That's also posted on our website. We are working on how we're going to, sort of stratify those recommendations. What are sort of the short-term things, the medium-term things, the long-term things, what has financing attached to it, what can we do without that. And so all of that work is laying the groundwork. And then the third key piece, I guess, of that type of work is the strategic plan that we've been working on. And we've solicited public input. We've solicited input from inside our system, outside our system, working on trying to, kind of see where everybody is in the work and their focus on the work. And it's been quite interesting that everybody is in a pretty central place, right? There's not a lot of it's not like a scatter plot, right? It's really, pretty much people focused on the same things. Internally, I would say that it's been very clear from the meet and greets that I've had, the input that I've gotten, not just, through the transition team, but lots of different sources that we have some, serious things that we have to accomplish in our school district. And so most recently, we have announced a restructuring of our human resources department. I can't go, and tonight is no exception, I can't go to a single public event in this county where somebody doesn't come to me and say, I applied for a job in the county. I'm either already in the county and I've applied for a different job, or I'm not in the county and I've applied for a job and no one calls me back, right? And so that's just not acceptable if you want to be a great organization. You have to be able, the fundamental piece of an organization is being able to hire the right people, right? So while it's a lot of hard work, it's very, very important. And I would say, lastly, and then I think Dr. Eubanks may want to add a few things. There are so many willing partners that I am just, in awe of the people that come to events like this. But I look around this room and I see people that I've met 2, 3, 4, 5 times, right? From the Hard Bargain Farm to the arts community to I look around this room and I'm just, thrilled to see so many people that are here engaged in this work and wanting it to work. And I would say two more quick things and then hand it to Dr. Eubanks. I have had great, eager, willing partners in county government, right? So this isn't sort of a flash in the pan kind of thing. I work so closely with so many members of the county government. I've talked today to the fire chief and the head of the health department, right, along with the folks that are here tonight from county government. It's really a regular kind of conversation to be better. And I should note, and I know she's with the commission as well, but my education partners, we were just with the county council down in South County, but Donna Weissman from the University of Maryland College of Education is here, Dr. Dukes from the community college, and Bowie State. All of the education partners, are there and wanting to work and collaborate together, and that's awesome. I will start number 155 of my school visits tomorrow morning, and I'll get 6 or 7 tomorrow, 6 or 7 the next day. I have learned so much being in so many schools, although it is only 45 to 60 minutes of visit that I'm able to get in. But I will get to all 205. And when you came in tonight, if you got here before just the last 2 or 3 minutes, Warren Tweedy, the principal here, has been here. I've seen his kids play when the Wallace Foundation was here, at the holiday celebration we held for staff in central office, again tonight. This is one of those wonderful pockets of excellence. They're an excellent school in gifted education. This exists all over our county, but we don't hear about it. We don't talk about it. We talk about those things that aren't working well. But you're sitting in a school that works really, really well, and there are a lot of them. Dr. Eubanks, I'll give you.
I'm actually.
Or maybe I won't. I'm sorry, I forgot.
I'm actually going to. Well, I wanted to just reiterate that this event is really about that. Just trying to bring community members from all over, whether it's nonprofit, whether it's the school system, whether it's government, and just with that understanding that there are so many willing people to work towards, making this county and our education excellent. And so that's what this event is really about. And this is really telling to, what we want to see in our future for our school system. But also, I do want to encourage everyone, that transition plan I did read is right on the website. And as a parent in the county, I have to say that it just validated a lot of different things that my observations or other parents or other groups that I've been a part of. So it was just really great to see that plan written out, and I'm glad to hear that there's strategic planning and then there's a plan to move us forward. And that really, I think, is what a lot of us parents and community members are looking for, is that transparency and what and how do you take us from where we are and where we need to be excellent. But with that next question is for Dr. Segun-Banks. It's regarding, and it's part of it's in the transition plan, and it speaks to the parent engagement piece. And in the past, parents and communities, I will even include myself, have felt disconnected to the school system. What changes are proposed to open the system for more collaboration? And how important is it for parent and community engagement to improving our school system?
Thank you. That's a great question. And let me say, your job is hard because probably 3 of us have never been in public together, because I don't think we can all say good morning in less than 20 minutes. So, present company included. No. So when the legislation to restructure the board came, they delivered a clear message. It was a message that I think is a continuance of what was already a commitment of the board and of the school system. But that was that we had 2 focuses as a board. That was student achievement and parent engagement. There's a lot, as I'm learning the hard way. We have a lot of responsibilities for the board. Our policies are about this big, and they cover everything. But our challenge is, how do we focus on the things that are most important as a board? How do we change our structure so that we're not spending 2% of time on 1,000 things, but rather how we're spending 80% of our time on the 20% of things that are most important. And as a parent in the system, my son is here today. He's a senior at Flowers High School. My daughter is a sophomore at Suitland. Go Suitland. And I tell people all the time, and I'm able to send my son to the college of his choice, 1, because he's really smart and he got a scholarship, good job. But 2, because I made that decision like a whole lot of other middle class parents when it was time for me to go there. And I said private school or public school, and we debated, we looked at them all, we did like a whole lot of other parents did. I said, I'm going to put my money in a 529 plan. I'm going to save my tuition, I'm going to trust my public schools. And my public schools paid off for me big time. And that's the message we need to deliver to parents. That's the message we need to hear. And as a board, we're doing a couple of things. We had a policy for a parent and community advisory council that's been dormant for years. So one of the first things we did as a board is we reestablished the Parent and Community Advisory Council. There's applications that are in right now, and that Parent and Community Advisory Council is going to be active beginning in the fall of this year. They're going to give us feedback about everything from the lottery and school choice to specialty programs to grading policy, you name it. We're going to get active parents in. The other thing that we did, thanks in partnership with the CEO, when it came budget time, we said, we need to put our money where our mouth is. You talked about the reorganization of HR, but there are other things. We've all experienced it as parents in the system. Sometimes we call and we get the best customer service imaginable. Other times, not so much. So we had an organization called Constituent Services, and we agreed in the new budget system to revamp that and to rename that office Parent and Community Outreach, and to redouble our efforts that when parents come to our office, they're not going to meet bureaucrats. They're going to meet educators who want to solve their problems. They're going to meet people who care about what they are. We have rules and we have to follow them, but we don't follow rules for the sake of following rules. We follow rules in order to do what's best for kids. And so we want to change that culture around to a culture of real respect for parents. And not, I hate the word parent involvement or parent engagement. Like, we're doing something, parents come along. No, this is a partnership. We want to build a true partnership that says you can help us and we can help you. And together we can do great things in Prince George's County. So that's the commitment we want to make to parent engagement, and one that I think all of our board members and our leaders and our staff, by the way, are truly committed.
And I think to your point regarding, you were mentioning the middle class. regarding that, I wanted to know if any of you wanted to speak to, how important is it to have innovation in our schools and trying to retain. I know that's been a challenge, and for me personally, I know that's been something I've also said yes to the public school system. So I'm here, and my children are here. One attends Hollywood Elementary, the other one is here, and that's where I'm going to put my money as well. So I wanted to know if you wanted to speak to that need and where we're going with that.
I know Dr. Maxwell is waiting to talk about the innovative programs that he's doing. I will say this. I think we're all looking at ways on how we offer the best for folks in Prince George's County to do the things like Dr. Eubanks did, like you're doing, Lupe, and like I did and Dr. Maxwell. And that is, we put our children in these public schools not because we didn't have other choices, but because we decided that, there were programs, teachers, principals, folks that were actually educating out there, that we were willing to take a chance with our most precious cargo, and that is our children. Mine went to Suitland High School. As I tell everyone, we were blessed because they all got scholarships. Thank you very much, Suitland. Go Rams. But the innovation that we want is, one, as Segun spoke to, one is how do we get parents more engaged in their schools in a greater way across the spectrum. I think if you've had more than one child in our school system, you see it's different in each school. Continuity of that going across, so innovation and getting parents engaged, and I think the board is looking at that. Programs. I'm a big part of, proponent of the arts. I love Dr. Maxwell's budget where the arts and music and those things which you see private schools actually invest more in. I like the fact that we're doing that. I like the fact that along with Dr. Maxwell, we talked about innovation. We've taken money from, we have what we call our Transforming Neighborhoods Initiative. 6 areas in the county, our most challenging areas, where we're focusing our resources on the turnaround. Well, with Dr. Maxwell and the school board's help, we're actually providing all-day pre-K in 16, soon to be 18,
We're going to do another 8 in our budget, and we hope to get another 8 out of the governor's budget. It's an application process, so we'll double the 16 to 32.
So isn't that great? The last thing, and I'll turn over to Dr. Maxwell, in terms of innovation, when we look at the county, when we're looking at where we're investing our money in terms of health and human resources, we're also connecting with the school system to see where we can partner up. The same thing with economic development. If you look at where the county's going, just think about this. Over the next 3 to 5 years, we're going to have somewhere between $5 billion worth of development going on in Prince George's County at the same time. No other place in the state can say that, or even in the District of Columbia. So what we have to do is connect that to the things that are going on in the school system. So if we're investing in IT, then we should be investing in IT in our schools. If we're building a destination resort casino in the southern part of our county, then we should be investing in hospitality, culinary arts, those things that lead to job opportunity and career opportunities for our kids. That's the innovative approach that we have to do. We all have limited dollars. It's how we pull those dollars together to push this system ahead, thereby, because as the school system goes up, my job is a lot easier. I can get the FBI tomorrow. You move this school system up 2 places, I got FBI. I can get you whatever you want. It's that is the only thing that's holding us back.
Dr. Maxwell?
Well, that's a heavy burden you just laid.
FBI is a $2 billion project.
2 places. Man.
Wow. No, it's like it's the FBI or. So I agree 100%. The programming is important. It can't be the same cookie cutter every place. And we've got some places that we've invested in, and what we've invested isn't enough. And we have some places that we haven't invested in. And so we have to look at, two pieces of key information. One, to move up two places, we have to do a better job with the children that we already have in our school district, right? And so additional pre-kindergarten, some more rigorous programming, some additional professional development, working to retain and recruit teachers, keep them here, get them here, and like everybody in this Great Recession the last few years, they've taken some serious hits financially, and so there's some money in our budget to increase some modest increases. It's not substantial, but it's modest increases in salary. But we also we have parents who say to us all the time, I want to be in your school district, right? But the programs I want, you're locking me out of. I don't have enough places, right? So we have to talk about, and we have in our budget, money to reduce or eliminate the wait list in Montessori, in French immersion, in talented and gifted in some grade levels for the centers. But I also know there's a desire in talented and gifted to have programming available at neighborhood schools as well. And I think that we should have both. What that looks like in the long run is something we have to work through, but I agree. It shouldn't be one or the other. It shouldn't be you either get it or you don't get it. We've had French immersion, one of the first ones in the United States, right? And it's a state blue ribbon school, by the way, right? But we know that 23% of our student population speaks Spanish as its first language, and we do very, very little work in Spanish. And so we are starting a couple of Spanish immersion programs, one two-way, a couple full. And the grant-funded one at Capitol Heights Elementary School, we're going to assume responsibility for because the grant is running out, and we're going to move that forward. We're expanding in the arts and music. Arts has taken a real hit in this budget, sadly, over the last few years. And so in our budget transfer in the second quarter, we added 10 additional art teachers, and in the budget that we proposed, another 5 on top of that for 15. That's about 1 per instructional director, 1 for every 20 schools or so, because it's not an art program to me in elementary school when a student sees an art teacher once every 9 weeks, right? So we're going to work on making sure that we have a robust arts program, and we're going to look at programs like Pullen and Suitland and Northwestern and Hyattsville Middle and the other programs that we have that are center programs, and make sure that we really give them the tools that they need to do the job right, because those programs have been here a long time, and they've come to a certain point. But if we want them to be really great, if we want them to be nationally recognized programs, we've got to help them through the threshold, because they're doing everything they can do with the resources we've given them, but we haven't given them enough. We have done a lot of additional work in the Academies program. And I know that Dr. Eubanks and I spoke earlier. He's extremely proud, but since I have the microphone, I'll take it from him. He's extremely proud that we got the $7 million from the President of the United States at my alma mater, Bladensburg High School, to help us with those high school academy programs. But we also need to turn and I know that I'm not hitting quite everything yet, and I apologize for that. We do have some additional music teachers in, especially focused on special needs students. But we also need to turn our attention to the more traditional career and technology education programs, right? Thank you. They really need to be refurbished. And when we talk about an 80% college attendance rate, you know, the president's goal that was set out a few years ago and the governor's goal following up on that, 20%, I mean, we've got about 125,000 kids in our district, you know. That's a lot of students, right? They're going to go to college, but it's a lot of students that aren't going to be in sort of that goal area. And so we need to have the right programs for them. And when we're building a casino, or when we're building a new school, or modernizing a new school, we need masons, and we need electricians, and we need HVAC mechanics, and we need plumbers. We need all of those things too. And so we need to start, you know, looking. This first round kind of took some low-hanging fruit away from us, but we've got to sit down and engage through our economic development people. We've got to engage with our union partners that are out there, the programs that they have for, you know, their apprentices and those kind of programs, and we need to engage them into our school district in a very meaningful way. And even in the academic programs, we need to work at getting them out into internships so they really understand the work that we're talking about. So if they're going to, if they want to be an environmentalist, it's not good enough to just sit in a classroom and read about that work. They need to be out in the field understanding what that looks like, what that feels like, so that those experiences don't all have to be centered in our classroom. They have to be centered around kids, and they have to be centered around the work.
So
I'll stop.
So I've been told we have like 1 more minute. So, any closing remarks?
Boy, now you're going to put closing remarks on me too? So here's where I think we need your help. Because we can, all of the programs and the ideas and the investments that are made, those will make a difference. But what's going to make the biggest difference is changing the culture of our schools and our communities. Mm-hmm. Even had we not done any of the things Dr. Maxwell just mentioned, we have a school system that's far better than too many of our citizens realize. And most of that is because we have a poor reputation, and sometimes I lean into discomfort. I was at a PTA at one of our middle class schools, and I said, we have to change our own attitude. We have to stop saying, and we say it very nicely sometimes, we have to stop saying, I don't want to send my kid to school with those kids.
Yes.
Right? That is the reality of a culture that's still pervasive in Prince George's County. And if we can change that, if we can change that attitude both by what we demonstrate in schools, but by what we as a community say and talk about our schools, right? My wife still was at Starbucks, overheard the conversation last week. I ain't sending my kid to that elementary school. Them kids are bad. If we can change that Starbucks conversation with people like you every day saying, I send my kid to public school and I'm proud. Or if I send my kid to private school, I do it because I have reasons that aren't because I distrust the public school. It's because I've made that decision for whatever reasons are. And so we have to change that culture. And if we can change that culture, it's going to change the reality of what happens in our schools every day. And so between the hard work of government, the real hard work of education experts, and the hard work of us, we can get that done.
Great. Thank you. All right. And I do want to applaud. Please, let's give one more round to our panel. And I do want to say kudos to the website, because I just want to let parents that are here know there's a summer guide that's there. I know that I'm trying to have my daughter come 3 weeks to Greenbelt for enrichment for algebra. But there's a lot of neat things there. So I just want to make sure that, you all are reviewing that if you have not seen it, because I know a press release went out a few weeks ago.
Thank you so much. Wow. Let's have another round of applause, please. Well, while they're taking a photo up, I'll say it was not an easy task to get these three together in the same room tonight. And so I want to just give a personal thank you to Christian Rhodes and Betty Hager Francis, who worked so closely with the commission to make this crazy idea about this event happen with us. We really appreciate it.